In today's video, we are going to learn how to create and configure a virtual machine to install an operating system. But before we get started, we need to understand at a basic level what a virtual machine is. A virtual machine is a software-based emulation of a physical computer that runs on a host system. It allows you to run multiple operating systems and software applications on a single physical machine. Now that we understand what a virtual machine is, let's get right into the video. To start off, you need to install a virtualization software like VMware or VirtualBox. For this video, we'll be using VMware. So, go on Google and search VMware Workstation Player and go into the VMware website, then install the workstation suited to the OS your laptop uses. We'll be using Windows for this video. Then after you've configured and installed VMware, you can open the application and get started. Now that you've made it this far, we can really get down to business and create a new virtual machine. I'll be installing the Ubuntu virtual machine from an ISO file I downloaded. Then click next and fill out the following details as necessary. You can rename your virtual machine as well as change its file path, but for this video, I won't be doing that. I'll go ahead and click next. On this window, I have to now allocate an amount of disk space to run our new virtual machine. For Ubuntu, we need at least 20 gigabytes, and it is recommended to split the virtual disk into multiple files rather than just as a single file, so that's the option I'll then select. I can choose to customize hardware configurations like RAM and cores utilized by the virtual machine. After customizing the hardware, click Exit, then now I can finish and install the new virtual machine for use. While the installation wizard is running, I would like to explain a few of the advantages and disadvantages of having a virtual machine installed. Like many things, virtual machines have their advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of a virtual machine include that they allow for multiple operating systems to run simultaneously on one physical machine without requiring additional hardware resources or interfering with each other's operations. This means businesses can save money by running multiple applications on one server instead of having separate servers for each application or task. VMs are completely self-contained environments with their own memory and disk space. They provide users with greater security than traditional shared hosting solutions by isolating different processors from one another, preventing malicious actors from accessing all of them at once if security protocols within the network infrastructure are breached. Virtual machines can share the resources of the host system, such as the CPU, memory, and disk space, among multiple guest operating systems. Multiple operating systems can be run on a single physical machine, making more efficient use of your hardware resources. Virtual machines can be easily moved between different physical machines or cloud environments, providing greater flexibility in terms of deployment and scaling. They can run multiple operating systems on a single physical machine, allowing you to run older applications that are incompatible with newer operating systems. The disadvantages of the virtual machines are as follows. Migrating existing systems into virtual machine environments can be difficult due to compatibility issues between software versions used across different platforms. Virtualization can introduce performance overheads as it requires additional resources to emulate the underlying hardware. This overhead is usually minimal, but can be significant if the host computer is already running at near maximum capacity. Virtualization may be limited by the hardware resources available on the computer. For example, if the host machine has limited memory or disk space, it can affect virtual machine performance. Virtualization can be complex to set up and manage, especially when multiple VMs are involved. It may also require additional configuration and maintenance. Virtualization can introduce additional security risks, especially if VMs are not properly isolated from each other and from the host machine. Malicious code running in a VM can compromise other VMs and the host machine. Some software licenses may not allow installation on virtual machines or require an additional license fee per virtual machine. If the host computer fails, all virtual machines running on the computer will also fail unless backup and redundancy mechanisms are in place. And that concludes our video on virtual machines. I hope you have learned something and that you enjoyed the video overall.